So I've talked a lot on this channel about estrogen dominance and how it can contribute to weight gain and PMS and perimenopause and mood swings and chin acne and all kinds of things. But today we're going to focus on how you can eat to support a better estrogen balance. And we'll be talking about the top 5 changes you can make in your diet to support a more positive balance between your estrogen and your progesterone. Remember to hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified when I post new videos every Friday that are all focused on getting a better balance with your hormones. By the end of this video, you will know what foods support a better estrogen and progesterone balance and how you can incorporate those foods into your everyday life. I'm Dr. Shelley Meyer. I'm a functional medicine doctor, family medicine doctor, and registered dietitian, and I've helped hundreds of women balance their hormones, and I can help you too. So if you're interested in this topic and the topics I talk about, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and share it out if you know any other women that could benefit from learning more about hormone balance, particularly in the ages of perimenopause. So let's dive into 5 ways you can support a better estrogen to progesterone balance. Fiber. I know I talk about fiber a lot, and let's review last week's video if you haven't seen it, because it talks about how specifically fiber can help your estrogen dominance become more balanced and get that estrogen pushed out. So our goal is 30 to 35 grams of fiber, and that can be hard to get because the average American diet, at least the average American diet, only gets like maybe about 15 grams of fiber. Now in other countries there may be higher fiber diets that are more common, but in our standard American diet, abbreviated as the SAD diet, we typically get about 15 grams of fiber. So we've got a lot of room for improvement. We need to double that. And some particularly helpful fiber sources are flaxseed. Now I know flaxseed can get kind of a mixed message with its effect on estrogen. So some people think because it is a phytoestrogen that means it's going to make your estrogen go up. And when you're in certain stages of perimenopause, the 2 to 10 plus years that lead up to menopause, and that women can start that anywhere between like the late 30s and be in it all the way to their early 50s. So particularly when you're in perimenopause, you have a lot of stages of estrogen dominance where your estrogen is stronger than your progesterone. And that's what we're talking about today, the foods that can help balance that ratio. And flaxseed can be one of them, believe it or not. Even though it's a phytoestrogen, it can help after menopause, but it can also help in perimenopause when your estrogen is high because it acts as an adaptogenic type of food. And we talk about adaptogens when we talk about herbs and our cortisol in particular, but flaxseed can come in and it can kind of boost your estrogen when it needs to, and then it can help to excrete it when it needs to be processed and excreted. It can help turn it into a healthier form of estrogen breakdown product and help get it out through a good, healthy bowel movement. So it can be an amplifier or a blocker. Then we also see chia as a really beneficial type of fiber. That's another thing you want to get into your diet. So flaxseed, you want to grind it and put it onto like snacks on the go, smoothies, salads. You can put it into, I put it into some cream yogurt kind of thing that I ate today with fruit and pumpkin seeds. So you can mix it up like that and make it into like a parfait kind of thing. And it adds a nice nutty flavor. You can put it into soups too. Chia, you can put it into the same kind of thing. The same kind of thing as flax. It's a little bit slicker. Some people would describe as slimier, but it really it can be made into a good pudding, and it can be a good topping. It can be put into smoothies, give it kind of that smoother texture. Veggies, particularly cruciferous veggies, which we're going to talk about next, those can be super helpful in hormone balance. Seeds and nuts, so you could snack on these and definitely add them with fruit. You don't want to snack on fruit alone. You don't want to get all that carbohydrate and sugar by itself. I mean, fruit does have fiber in it, which is great, so that's another source of fiber. But if you amplify that with adding, like having some fruit and then some nuts or seeds with that, you get some extra protein and some fat. It gets a nice slow absorption and you get more nutrients. So that's a great way to get a lot of fiber, is having some fruit and some nuts or seeds. You can also put nuts or seeds into, like I was saying today, a parfait, or into like, a coconut yogurt. You can grind them into a smoothie, almonds or walnuts. And pumpkin seeds are great as topping or a snack as well. You can also just have, that's what I was going to say. One of my favorite flax snacks I've just found in the stores lately, and I find it at Whole Foods, but it's called Flackers, and I'll put a link down below. I have no association with them at all. I just really like them. I like to snack on them because I don't eat regular crackers because they're just so processed. But these are mostly flax seeds, so they're really good. So the number 2 food we want to get more into our lives if we want our estrogen and our progesterone to be more balanced is cruciferous vegetables. So those can include, the things we talk about a lot on this channel, like broccoli and kale and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts and cabbage. Also, radishes and watercress and bok choy are all great ways to get those cruciferous veggies in there. So the benefit of cruciferous veggies is you get fiber, plus you get indoles, which are an ingredient in there, and glucosinolates. So those can help process the hormones in a healthier way, kind of like we talked about with the flaxseed, and push them, grab that kind of bad breakdown product, the 4-hydroxyestrogen metabolite, and push it, instead of going down that pathway, cruciferous vegetables can help push it down a 2-hydroxy pathway, which is a lot healthier, and help us detoxify our estrogen in a much healthier way. So there's a bonus there that not only does it help with estrogen dominance, but helps reduce our cancer cell proliferation. And they've done studies on that and found that. And that's why you see lots of supplements that are hormone balancing that have broccoli sprout powder in them, because it is so good for our hormones. You can put broccoli into, you can just steam it. Not broccoli, sorry, the cruciferous veggies, you can steam them. You can put them into, chop them up in your food processor and put them into like a red sauce for a healthy pasta or a veggie pasta you could put it on top of. Cauliflower, you can find that everywhere lately. In snacks, I buy some cauliflower snacks that I like. Cauliflower wings, mashed cauliflower instead of mashed potatoes. Think about that. I'm recording this before Thanksgiving. You could do a cauliflower mash instead of a potato mash. And then you have more of the cruciferous vegetables, less of kind of the starchy vegetable that potatoes are, and getting more fiber and more of the glucosinolates in there. Roasted Brussels sprouts, those are great. I would try those if you're thinking of Thanksgiving foods too, or just in general. You can get them a lot at the restaurants in my neighborhood, have them, and they're sometimes they're crispy or fried a little bit, and roasted in particular, and you can put a little feta cheese. It's yummy. Sauerkraut. So you can put the cabbage into sauerkraut, then you get the benefit of the glucosinolates and the indoles that are in the cabbage, in addition to the fermentation that is good for your hormones as well. And then kale, of course, in salads or smoothies. You can add some radishes to get some extra boost of your cruciferous veggies in there. The number 3 food would be grass-fed, pasture-raised, organic meats. Now, what I'm saying here is you don't want to add those necessarily in, but you want to change over from if you're eating meat already. If you're not, don't add more in. But if you're already eating meat or animal products, chicken, turkey, those kind of things, change over, particularly with your beef, to the grass-fed, pasture-raised type. You're going to, and then organic as well, so organically fed chicken, organic eggs, those kind of things, because you're going to get less of the pesticides, and those pesticides really, really screw with our hormones. And I will be talking about that in my next video, the xenoestrogens, more in detail. I have touched on those quite a bit, but I'm going to go into them more in detail. But you definitely, if you're getting any of those conventionally raised animals and eating them, if you're eating any of the conventionally raised animal meat, then you change over to the grass-fed, pasture-raised organic versions. But even better, you want to convert over into at least, half and half plant-based diet. So have some meals out of your day that are plant-based and don't have those animal products in there, or have a whole day where you're plant-based. That can really help support a better balance between your estrogen and progesterone. And definitely looking for animal products that do not have any kind of bovine growth hormone, where the animals are fed what their inherent natural diets are, instead of being given hormones and being given like a corn-fed kind of processed diet. And definitely avoiding antibiotic use in animals. And If organic is too expensive, then you want to check out the environmental working group, and I will have a link down below, the Dirty Dozen. You want to avoid the Dirty Dozen, and then you want to eat the Clean 15. And those are ones that if you cannot afford organic vegetables, in particular and fruits are what we're talking about here, then you can choose the Clean 15 and avoid the Dirty Dozen. So check that out down below. And that's just with fruits and vegetables. But the whole point of number 3 is changing over to a better way that your food is produced and processed so that you're not getting those pesticides. Also, wait a minute, let me stop here. If you're finding this helpful, make sure you give a thumbs up below and share a comment with me on things that have helped you balance your hormones. We always want to hear and learn from each other. So as women going through, hormonal shifts and going through perimenopause, we don't feel like we're alone, because feeling alone is very harmful if we're feeling really down and anxious and we feel like nobody else is going through this. So be sure to give it a like and give a comment down below and share this out if you know anybody who could benefit from this. So let's move on to number 4 as far as our hormone balancing foods would go. So healthy fats is number 4. We want to eat more healthy fats and get the unhealthy fats out. So first let's talk about the unhealthy fats. Of course, trans fats. We all kind of know that. We've heard that message. So anything with trans fats, and those have been mostly kind of pushed out of our diet, thank goodness. But canola oil, you want to look for that on your labels. And then soybean oil, because they're both so processed. I do not rail against like soy in particular. I think there can be good forms of soy, non-GMO, organic forms of soy, but soybean oil, we want to get that out, and canola oil. Now the healthy fats are going to be the organic, cold-pressed, unrefined oils, the coconut, also coconut, you can cook with that, or coconut in general has fat in it, but the coconut oil you can cook with, and you can cook at high temperatures with it, which is great. Avocado, either eating an avocado or having the avocado oil, those are both healthy fats. Olive oil, we see that in the blue zones and the Mediterranean diet, and how successful the data on that is, how healthy people are. So olive oil is very healthy. Now with the higher temperatures, you could probably better use avocado or coconut, because the olive doesn't tolerate as high of a temperature, but it does tolerate a medium temperature. And then healthy fats like the chia and the flax have some of the omega-3 healthy fats in them. Fish, particularly wild-caught salmon and tilapia, if you can get it from a reasonable source. You don't want to go with the bigger fish, like I've talked about before. They have more mercury, the big tunas, the shark, the dolphin, like the fish dolphin. Most people aren't eating other dolphins. And any of the big fish, you want to maybe not eat those, or not ever really eat those, because they have the mercury. But the the wild-caught, did I say farm-raised before? Wild-caught salmon is what you want to look for your omega-3s. And walnuts are a great source of the vegetable or the non-fish type of omega-3. So you also want to remember that we're not in the 90s anymore. We didn't have a lot of success from teaching the low-fat diet to the population. That just didn't make us any healthier. So healthy quality fats can actually benefit your hormones. And then number 5, fermented foods. I touched on that a little bit when I talked about sauerkraut, but they help us build a healthy flora, which helps us be balanced in our microbiome. And that, believe it or not, helps our hormones, because I've talked about calcium D-glucarate on this, or the beta-glucuronidase on this channel before. And that is something we don't want to be too high in our microbiome, because that means we're not getting that estrogen out. If we're not getting that extra estrogen out, then we're estrogen dominant and we're getting a recirculation of an unhealthy estrogen. So getting a healthy microbiome via fermented foods is part of the puzzle, pieces of the puzzle, can definitely help balance your hormones. So that'll help us, like I said, detoxify estrogen. So sauerkraut, kimchi, the cruciferous vegetables like I talked about before can be prebiotics, which help feed our good bacteria in our gut. Coconut yogurt, kefir, however you pronounce it. Those are all great ways to get some fermented food into your life. And you can take a probiotic as well. So I'm going to put some links in the description down below of some of probiotics, some of the flaxseed sources I've talked about, the flackers I talked about, some of the healthy oils. So check those out if you're interested in learning what I talk about with my patients as far as food choices go. And click the link down below to have access to my Hormone Balance Made Simple free PDF. That will help you figure out how to get those hormones more in balance and talk with your provider about balancing your hormones. And let me know in the comments what you have found to be helpful as far as nutrition and eating to support your hormones. And definitely if you liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it out, because that helps my channel grow, helps me stay in, making videos and getting them out there to you on Fridays. So thanks so much for watching this video. I will be back next week talking about xenoestrogens, so those fake estrogens that we get from all kind of avenues in our lives, and how we can keep those out and how we can make life choices that better support our hormone balance. So I'm Dr. Shelley Meyer. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next Friday.